Hello, I'm Owen Graves, and this is my speech, and this is my audience, and you're filming it now? Okay. Can you see me? Okay. This is my speech, Following the Fortune. Has your brain ever short-circuited? Have you ever forgotten your own birthday or put a cup in the wrong cabinet? These little mental mishaps tend to happen more and more often as you have more stress to deal with and more work to do. Last week, I used my left blinker to turn right just because I was so caught up thinking about due dates. We all have these moments, but what can we do to help alleviate the stress that causes them? I propose that a daily creative activity is something that'll help everyone become more mindful and help to deal with the stress and work that we have to do in our daily lives, along with the cognitive impairments that come along with that. I want everyone to understand the simple joys of creativity as well as the benefits. Creativity is for everyone, and everyone should be for creativity. Today, everyone is so caught up in dopamine fixes that they are forgetting to be mindful and stimulate their brains. People are drowning themselves in social media dopamine, not taking time to curate their own joys. According to the article, Have Smartphones Destroyed a Generation? By social psychologist Jean Twenge from the September 2017 issue of The Atlantic magazine, all screen activities are linked to less happiness, and all non-screen activities are linked to more happiness. Unfortunately, with this sadness comes further mindlessness, stress, and low mental stimulation. Sadness and mindlessness are major reasons to pick up a creative activity. Think back to childhood. Our most mindful and present moments were spent with crayons in hand. Though our childhood woes seem insignificant to us now, we still colored them away. Nowadays, our problems are insidious. We have too much knowledge to ignore them, but we are not mindful enough to process them. This leads to sadness and a poor quality of life. If in childhood we had no creative outlet, we would sit in boredom or in timeout for the fit we threw about being bored. It is clearly in human nature to exercise creativity, so why is it that we don't? When you don't exercise your brain, as in creating something new, it becomes weak and tired, just as your body does without exercise. In the February 12, 2024, the New York Times digital article, What is Mild Cognitive Impairment and How is it Diagnosed? By reporter Dana Smith. She notes an older individual with Alzheimer's disease and his, quote, senior moments. These moments mirror the short circuits I spoke on a minute ago, obviously with more frequency. Cognitive decline under stress and age are to blame here. Alzheimer's is a terminal illness. How willing are we to let our brains even slightly mirror its wrath when we have the ability not to? I know that for me it's not a question. While these problems that arise from poor mental stimulation are very scary, there is fortunately a very simple solution. Engaging in a daily creative activity keeps the brain happy and healthy. Happiness is ultimately what everyone is striving for, and creativity is a great way to find it. Updated July 6th, 2021, Healthcare Information Hub, the National Library of Medicine, provides on its website that engaging in creative activities allows individuals to enter flow states which are conducive to one's psychological well-being and satisfaction. Satisfaction and well-being are important parts of a happy life, and it is incredible that creative choices can help foster them. The National Library of Medicine contains further information that people are...
Excuse me, teachers and students, I have an announcement to make. Academic practice will be today after school in Mrs. Hyatt's room. Thank you.
Satisfaction and well-being are important parts of a happy life, and it is incredible that creative choices can help foster them. The National Library of Medicine contains further information that people are happier and more active when they are performing something creative. Not only this, but these positive feelings inspire more creative action. It is a self-sustaining well-being machine. Who could ask for a more efficient way to improve your quality of life? That is to concede other than prolonging it, which creative choices also help to do. Mental stimulation, as I mentioned before, is like exercising the body. It is vital for health and energy. According to the October 13th, 2024 article, How Does Art Therapy Work? By Sherry Gordon, reviewed by Kathleen Daly, MD, from the digital publisher Health, even therapy can benefit from creative influence. Gordon claims art therapy is designed to engage the mind, body, and spirit. This sounds to me like quite the workout. If we sustain the health of our bodies, then we should keep going to sustain the health of our minds. It is important to strive for a long and healthy life, and it is important to be creative. Before I move on, however, I want to briefly explain why creativity is so stimulating. It involves several brain functions. I like to call it mental calisthenics. It is best put on the American Psychological Association website, updated January 30th, 2024, which represents psychologists across America. Kirsten Wire states, creativity often involves coordination between the cognitive control network, which is involved in executive functions such as planning and problem solving, and the default mode network, which is most active during mind wandering or daydreaming. I quite literally could not have possibly said that better myself. Now that I have assessed why creativity works and what it works for, what can we take from it going forward? I'd like to reference back to a point I made earlier. Creativity has been with us since childhood, and it is time we tap back into it. Imagine a time when you simply did not allow your inspiration to be muddled by the facts of today. Nothing could hold your creativity back. I'm not asking you to give up your maturity, I'm simply asking you to look at inspiration the same way you did as a child. Maybe there's a pile of wood in the garage that you've been looking at, and you don't play with Legos anymore, but you've been wanting to do something with it. Maybe you don't feel the urge to cut your own bangs with safety scissors, but you saw a fun and interesting hairstyle on television that you've been wanting to try. Accept your inspiration and create something new every day. Come up with a daily goal to nurture this creativity. I personally try to make creativity a habit, just like making my bed. First, figure out what you love to do. Creativity is more than arts and crafts. It can be active imagination, building, gardening, cooking, or even listening to music. Try to turn these activities into a process of original thinking. That's ultimately what creativity really is. Make sure you're having fun though. Don't stress out over becoming Picasso. Just let your mind flow and your creativity wander. Over the last few minutes, we have addressed some of the mental issues of today and how creativity is a force against them, as well as strategies to move forward with creativity in mind. I hope that you are able to apply some of this thinking to your own life, perhaps reminiscing on some childhood creative memories. As the fortune I got when eating Chinese food last night reads, follow the trail of inspiration. It leads to greatness. When you follow your creativity, you'll also be led to a great life.